Alrighty, welcome back everyone. And it's time for the second lesson here on coastal erosion, coastlines. And what you're looking at here is a map of the United States and Alaska and Hawaii. And you can specifically see how coastal erosion is severely eroding or moderately eroding much of the East Coast around Florida and especially the Louisiana area, northern Alaska. Now, there's some moderate eroding along the West Coast and the Great Lakes. But erosion is a problem in the United States, especially if you live there on the coast, that is. So how do we reduce coastal erosion? First, we start off with, shall we build something on the coast to protect the property? And seawalls are one of the most expensive options. You can see here a gigantic seawall made of concrete, and it's protecting whatever area is behind it there with the green vegetation. So these seawalls are structures. Sometimes they're made of boulders, which is a cheaper method, and they absorb the wave energy. The downside is it causes sand and the beach, in essence, to be eroded away on the coastal side. So you end up with no beach and just a big wall. Some other examples of seawalls here. Not much of a beach there in that top left picture. And on the bottom picture, no beach at all, during high tide at least. Just a big rock wall. Is that what we want? Okay, another option for protecting beaches are groins. And you can see in this picture, these small, they're not really small in real life, perpendicular to the shoreline structures. And they go all the way up this section of Fire Island here, which is just off the coast of Long Island. You can see Long Island's over there. This is Fire Island down here. And what these do is they actually protect the beach on one side of the groin, but not on the other side. And they do this by catching the sand. So groins are concrete or rock structures. Often they're built of boulders, and they're perpendicular to the shore. They increase the sand up current, but reduce it down current. So there's pluses and minuses to groins. You can see in this picture, the waves are coming in at this angle, which we'll talk about a little bit more in this lesson. And they're pushing the sand with the longshore drift, in this case, downwards. And the groins catch that sand, building the beach up on the upside. However, it starves the sand on the down groin side. So then down further the beach, someone else has to put a groin up to build the beach up again. So once one person does it, it's like a chain reaction. They all have to do this. They all have to build groins. All right, another feature to prevent erosion or deposition in this case are jetties. Jetties are usually made of concrete or rock, once again, and they jut out from where a river or a canal in this case meets the ocean. And what they do is they protect the channel so that boats can either go out or come in without running aground. And they do this by, once again, building up sand on one side and starving it on the other. And this right here is a jetty going out into Rock Harbor. The other side is barely off the picture there. This is in Orleans, Massachusetts. And without that, this area would probably fill in with sediment, and the boats would not be able to come in or out. As it is, they can't even come in or out during low tide. They have to wait till a higher tide. Sand trapping effect of the jetties to the north at Charleston, South Carolina has starved Morris Island of needed sand. And this is like the downside of the groin or jetty where the sand is being taken away. And in that case, the lighthouse is now underwater. It's eroded to the point that there's 400 meters of water between the lighthouse and the beach. That's crazy. This is another feature. It's called the breakwater. Breakwaters are concrete or rock, and they're usually out a ways from the beach or any other structure they're trying to protect. And what they do is they protect whatever's behind it by absorbing the energy of the waves. And you can see that in this photograph. You can see all the wave energy, all these ripples here, but it's very calm behind the breakwater. Now the problem with that is that the sediment in here starts filling in. And the reason why is because there's less energy back there, and we learned that when water stops moving, things deposit. So every once in a while, the area behind there, unless they want it to fill in, has to be dredged out or dug up and moved somewhere else. Sometimes they pump it with these barges. They pump it right up onto the land somewhere and create a park or something else. Makes maybe some dunes. Other features, sand fences or beach fences. They slow the wind, forcing sand to build up on the lee side, and you can see it in this picture that the sand is building up along the edge of the fence because the fence is acting as a barrier to the wind, and the sand can't be blown away if it's being stopped. Also dunes. Dunes are very important in protecting beaches. These particular dunes have a fence at the top. You can see the fence, but they also have beach grass. At least it's trying to. And the roots from the beach grass hold the sand together as well. So it's a primary method of defense for keeping the beach there and not letting it erode away. They are fragile. Often there's signs saying, can't play on the dunes. You don't want to damage them. And these are some dunes in Province Lands area up in northern part of Cape Cod. Barrier islands. Remember we were talking before about Fire Island. Well, Fire Island is a barrier island. There's lots of barrier islands up and down the east coast of the United States. And these islands, they actually protect the actual continental part of the United States, the coastline there, by absorbing energy. So wave action and the longshore current produce these large barrier islands, and they may grow into protective islands. This one here, Fire Island, is one, but there's many, many, many barrier islands up and down the east coast. And you can see some aerial photographs here. On the left, way up high, looking down at some barrier islands. You can see how the sand's being moved around by longshore currents. And many people live on barrier islands. It is a wonderful place to spend time. However, I don't know if I'd want to own a home on one. First, you have to fear hurricanes. And second, it's really expensive. And that is it. Short lesson today.